Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. I'm glad that today you are able to find this recording if you're watching live or if you're watching later on. I'm so glad that you are able to find this channel. If you're new here, thank you very much for finding us. And if you are a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate because you liking, watching, and subscribing makes a whole difference in terms of me being able to share this message with you. So today I'm going to be talking about who is in your community or who is doing life with you. And it will be a very, very quick recording, so I'm not going to take a lot of time. Uh, I just had this privilege over the weekend visiting a friend of mine, and as we were chatting with my friend, it actually triggered something in my thoughts because we were just talking about generally who do we get to do life with in terms of weight loss and things like that. And I remember having this conversation with my friend. I was just reminding her there is a time I was going through one of those times. You may have known by now I'm a nutritionist, trained and qualified, but there was a time when I was really struggling with my weight, and my weight was just going over like whatever I was really expecting. And so in that process, I started to think about like, what am I going to do, or what is it that I'm going to be able to do so that I can stay motivated and be able to lose a bit of weight. And I remember one of my sisters, bless her, if she watches this or she's watching this, you know who you are. And I was telling her one day, like, she really decided to change her life for good, and she looks really pretty good. So I was talking to her and I was saying to her, like, I'm really struggling at the moment. I'm trying to lose weight and I'm finding it a little bit difficult, and I didn't really know what exactly I needed to do. I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't just have that motivation. So as I was talking to my sister, she started to say to me, like, you know what, one time you realize that it's important in life just to have an accountability partner. So she became my accountability partner, and we started doing life together in terms of the weight loss journey together. And she was just there to motivate me. So we were by then really I didn't know things like MyFitnessPal. So we were going that old school. We'll take an Excel sheet and I would put down whatever I've eaten in a day, and if I've exercised, if I've gone for a little run, I'll record it, and then she will do all the maths. She's really a brilliant genius, bless her. And she will do all those maths and calculations, and she'll come back to me and say like, "Oh yeah, you're on track," or "You're not on track," etc. Of course, because I knew as a nutritionist what I can't eat and what I can't eat, but because I had that accountability partner, I knew my sister was constantly watching, and she can be really, really strict. So I was like, okay, I don't want to disappoint her. I want to be on good books with her. So doing the right thing all throughout. And I can't like thank her enough because within a duration of 6 months, I had been able to shed off 10 kgs, and it was because of that constantly reminding yourself that I've got somebody that I'm accountable to. I've got somebody that will be asking me today, Claire, how are you doing? And as I was talking to my friend on the weekend, she reminded me, and I took like a journey down the memory lane, remembering the struggles that I had and remembering the things that I knew what to do, but I just didn't have the motivation to do it up until I realized, okay, I've got my sister to account to. And that kind of, in a way, really motivated me to keep on track when I didn't feel like it. And I was thinking about it actually in life, it's so easy to maybe think, well, I don't need community. I can do it myself. I can do it my way, which is amazing. But remember, sometimes the journey can be difficult. They say two are better than one. And that is so important, and it's so much of a truth when it comes to things like weight loss or when it comes to health journey. If you have somebody that you are doing it with, it kind of in a way does motivate you. Like in my story, when I remembered I've got to talk to my sister, I've got to call her and talk to her about my journey and talk to her what I've done through the day or the week, it kind of kept me on track. And that could be something if you're struggling maybe with weight loss or setting up goals and you're finding it so difficult just to be able to do it. Have you considered finding somebody to do that journey with? Currently, I do quite a lot of running. I've been actually doing a challenge for myself throughout the month of May, April, trying to run as much as I can, like almost every single day, just because they're targets that I really am setting for myself. And I've realized in this time and in this season of my life, actually, my community are people that I follow and who follow me on Strava, which is of course a running app. So I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh gosh, today I'm not doing it. I don't feel like doing it. But then when I go on Strava, I see my tribe, my community, somebody's gone out for a run, they've done this crazy amount of kilometers. I don't go out for those crazy amounts of kilometers just because somebody has done it, or I don't do crazy kilometers, but I do run according to the ability that I have because I have been motivated with my community, the people that I follow or the people that follow me on Strava. And I can't tell you how much I've been able to gain momentum and to be disciplined simply because I know there is somebody in the background that kind of in a way is watching out or watching what I'm doing and maybe being motivated as well. And so today I'm just thinking to come along and just like kind of record this quick video just to remind us that we are not meant to be islands. We are not meant to do life by ourselves. And if you're trying to do life by yourself, it can be difficult sometimes, particularly when it comes to things like weight, health journey. You need your community, you need a friend, you need somebody to do it with you. So, just to encourage you today to think about who are those people that are pouring into you that you can go to them and become accountable to them. You can go to them and say, well, today I set up a target for myself to exercise, but I haven't been able to follow that target at all because of ABCD. And they'll be able to tell you, well, don't worry, we got tomorrow, we can pick ourselves up and we can do it again. Get one, if you don't need 10 people in life, you don't need 1,000 people, you might just need that one person. And recently I was in a training and somebody was talking about trying to find three people in your life that you can always go back to for support. That person that can be a confidant, that when you are going through stuff and you just want to talk to and talk about stuff that really you don't want everybody knowing, you have that inner circle of yours. You also have somebody that you can just rely on when you really need some support and things like that. So today is like a call of action and a challenge to ask you, so who are you doing life with? Who is part of your community? Do you have somebody today, if you are down, you can pick up the call them and say, I'm struggling, I need help, please help me. Or if you're on a journey, you're in a health journey, maybe trying to lose weight or maybe trying to achieve a given goal, who is that person that is motivating you? Who's that person that is cheering you on? Who is that person when you feel like you're going to fall down and you no longer want to do it? You can always go back to them and say, gal or guy, I am struggling, I need help. And that is also good as well for mental well-being. I know people can't struggle so much opening up to people because, of course, you can end up being hurt if you open up to the wrong people. But sometimes I find, like, personally, I am kind of a person that deals with things and processes things externally. If I've got something that is actually eating me up, I won't just keep it internally like, well, like I've got those internal reflection moments, but I find myself kind of in a way processing stuff. If I'm upset with something, I talk about it, that's the end. And I let go of it and I move on because I've actually been able to share. And once I share, they say a problem shared is a problem halved. And those are the ways like I've found myself when life gets a bit difficult and there's trouble on one side or the other. I find myself when just talking about it does really help quite a lot. And because I have the right community, I can go to that community, to my girlfriends, and say, hang on a minute, please, this is what I'm facing at the moment. Or if I want to be on a given health journey, I can always go back and say, am I on track or am I not on track? So today is a challenge that I'm leaving you and a call of action just to take a reflection moment. Think about the people that are in your life. Are those people that you can rely on? Who are you doing life with? Who's part of your community? Who's part of your tribe? Who is part of those people that you can call on and say, I'm in a journey, can we do it together? Or if everything is okay, you can also call them and celebrate. It's not just a matter of like, oh wow, life is challenging me, so I need somebody to talk to. But it could be like celebrating, people that will celebrate with you when you're celebrating, people that will mourn with you when you're mourning, people that will grieve with you if you're grieving, if you're going through a loss. It could be of a loved one or a loss of a job or a loss of, whichever thing it is. Who is that person that you can easily pick up the call and say, hang on a minute, I am struggling or I need help? So think about that today. Think about your inner circle. Think about your friends. Think about your acquaintances. And think about who are those people in your community, in your inner circle, in your reach, people that can easily come to your rescue when you need them. Because as I mentioned, we are not meant to do life by ourselves. We are not an island, and we cannot be able to do life without other people. We need other people. We need our community. We need our tribe. And particularly when it comes to things to do with health and fitness and lifestyle and well-being, I can never emphasize enough how much important your community and your tribe is. So until next time, when I meet again on another recording or whatever, just take a minute and think about it. And if you feel like you don't have those people, those relationships, or part of your community that you can always lean back to, maybe it might be a high time to try and think of, how can I get that community? Or maybe you might want to be that community to other people, not just them being to you, but you could as well offer yourself to be that support system for other people so that you can be able to challenge them, you can be able to cheer them on, and you can be able to motivate them.